The worst day of someone's life often involves some sort of trauma. It might be the death of a loved one, an accident, or being the victim of a crime.
So there's a group of trained volunteers in the greater Portland area responding to help in certain situations like the ones we just talked about. News 8 Remain's Chloe Thibault joining us live from the Westbrook Public Safety Building with a guest who has an inside look into the trauma intervention program of Greater Portland. Good morning, Chloe.
Hey guys, good morning. Yeah, you get to hear from someone other than me this morning. This is Ken Olson. He's the director of the Trauma Intervention Program of Greater Portland. And Ken, thank you so much for waking up early with us. We appreciate it.
It's my pleasure.
All right, so for people who haven't heard about this program before, tell me kind of what does it do? What does it involve?
Well, TIP's been in the Greater Portland area since 2005, so we've been here for quite a while, but it's probably a program you haven't heard about unless you've had direct experience working with it. We get called by first responders who have come upon a scene of trauma, an overdose, a suicide, an unexpected death, and they will request that a TIP volunteer come and attend to the survivor of that event. So we show up, we sit down with the victim or the survivor and just be present. We have conversations with them about what needs to happen, contacting the mortuary or funeral homes. We serve as a liaison between the victim, the survivor, and the police department, so we can help to ask or answer any questions that they have, help them to say that final goodbye to the loved one if that's something that they need to do. And then we provide emotional first aid and kind of practical support, which could be helping them to get a ride to the hospital, finding out what we're going to do with an individual's pet. It could be anything like that.
Definitely important work. And Ken, I know you've been in this position really since December, but this is obviously, like I said, important work. So tell me kind of how has this program helped people, especially in the day of the 21st century where we are kind of more of an isolated society sometimes?
Particularly in a state like Maine, it really is an important program. And TIP is a national organization. We're in over 250 cities. But in Maine, where people are so geographically dispersed and a lot of our younger folks have moved out of state, it really is important because we come to a scene and find, an elderly woman who's lost her husband, and it might be 4 or 5 or 6 hours before her son or daughter can arrive on scene. And what TIP does is we fill that role. We sit there with them until their family can arrive, until a neighbor can come over and help. So that's the service that we provide.
Well, thank you so much, Ken, again, for coming in this morning to explain. And, stick with us because coming up in the next half hour, we're actually going to have details. TIP of Greater Portland is looking for more volunteers. So we'll tell you exactly who they're looking for and how you can get involved if you want to help out. Live in Westbrook this morning, Chloe Thibault, News Center, Maine.